Chapter 3499. Why a few dozen? Wang Xian couldn't help but ask this question. Once a race had a universe lord, it could be called a pinnacle race. A universe lord was a qualitative change. Because of resources and war. There are some things you haven't come into contact with, and there's no need to know now. You need to know that a universe lord has no say in the pinnacle races of the universe. The pinnacle races of the universe have a rule that they can't interfere with the matters below. This is the rule, and no pinnacle race dares to break it. However, once you become a pinnacle race, this rule will no longer exist. Of course, there are rules between the pinnacle races. There are almost no fights, but there are things more terrifying than fighting. Therefore, becoming a pinnacle race might not be a good thing. When you have a few dozen universe lord experts under you, you can announce that the Dragon Palace has returned to the pinnacle. The old elf continued to speak to him. Although his words weren't vague, Wang Xian couldn't get much information out of it. The rules of the pinnacle races? Resources? War? Things more terrifying than fighting? Don't think too much about it. There are still billions of years before the calamity. Work hard and improve yourself. I look forward to you leading the divine dragon race to rise again. The great elf in the middle chuckled. I definitely will. Wang Xian nodded and replied with a smile. Currently, the peak races in the universe had a large number of sovereign realm experts. Although Wang Xian didn't know how many universe lords there were in the past, there should be no less than 10,000. This was his least guess, but he wasn't sure how many there were. As for the rules and war, this wasn't common knowledge. He wasn't sure if the seniors of the divine dragon race had purposely hidden it, or if they were afraid that some things would be a form of pressure. Wang Xian was more inclined to the latter. Dragon King, you can come to our tribe anytime and cultivate here. You can also hide here if you encounter danger. Given your current strength, it'll be hard for anyone below the Universe Lord realm to kill you. As for those at the Universe Lord realm, with our tribe watching over you, no one will dare to break the rules and touch you. Work hard and we'll form a good relationship with you today. The great elf in the middle chuckled. Thank you, senior. I'll remember your kindness today. Wang Xian cupped his hands together and stood up. With gratitude written all over his face, he said, My Dragon Palace will definitely repay you in the future. I won't disturb you anymore. What goes around comes around. In that case, Dragon King, we won't hold you back any longer. In the future, you can summon your companion spirit and come and go as you please. The great elf in the center said with a smile. Wang Xian nodded, cupped his fist again, and left. Given Wang Xian's current strength and capability, he wasn't qualified to repay her kindness today. Wang Xian would never forget the kindness of the elf race and the friendship of the great elf race. Flying out, Wang Xian took a look behind him before flying back to where he came from. Crash! Just as he was flying forward, a leaf suddenly floated towards him. This is a leaf. The leaves fell in front of him, and a calm voice appeared in his mind. Wang Xian was taken aback. He picked up the leaf beside him and a stream of information surged into his mind. One leaf. Blinding. This was a leaf that could conceal one's attributes. Even in battle, it could conceal the aura of one's attributes. Wang Xian moved his palm, and a flame appeared in his hand. From the perspective of the dark ghost doppelganger, he could see and sense that it was a red branch. With a wave of his palm, the flame condensed into a fire sword. From the perspective of the dark ghost doppelganger, it was a wooden sword. Blinding by a leaf. An extremely powerful concealment treasure. It was simply inconceivable. This was to better conceal more of the attributes contained in his body. Thank you, senior from the elf race. In the future, I, Wang Xian, will repay you tenfold or even 100-fold. Wang Xian turned around to express his gratitude before flying out. Swish, 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 swish. While Wang Xian was flying, the group of great elves on the Tree of Life flew out and looked up. Queen, you're paying attention to him too. The group of great elves came to the top of the Tree of Life and looked at a beautiful wooden hut formed by the Tree of Life with respect. He has great potential. The divine dragon race needs a leader like him. A voice came from the wooden hut. 7 attributes. Indeed, it's a little overpowered. I wonder if he can step into your realm, the realm of the water divine dragon, great Rao. The aged great elf said softly. Difficult. A word came from the wooden hut. The rest of the great elves nodded. The more attributes one had, the stronger one would be. However, to reach the invincible realm, the more attributes one had. Instead, it would be more difficult. Let's hope there'll be another elite race when the calamity arrives. One of the great elves sighed. I owe them a big favor this time. Wang Xian didn't like to owe people favors. However, he did owe the elf race a lot this time. 3 drops of life liquid. One of them allowed him to break through. One was given to Lingling, and the other was absorbed by the 12th tier water lotus. After the 12th tier water lotus absorbed it, the 3 flower buds grew several times bigger. This surprised Wang Xian. The level of the tree of life couldn't be described as a primordial treasure divine tree. It was probably just a step away from creation stage. However, he would never be able to cross this step. Legend had it that one attribute could only give birth to one creation stage. With the divine tree as the creation stage, there wouldn't be a second one. The progenitor tree was the creation stage. After arriving at the immortal flower city through the teleportation array, Wang Xian flew towards the land of entanglement at a terrifying speed. The golden ring plant demonic beasts had been killed by the experts of the elf race. However, there were still 8 second-order universe sovereigns there. Before Green Dragon Shadow gained control of the Green Dragon Dragon Palace, it would be hard for these experts to fend them off. Wang Xian sent a message to them before continuing his journey. After breaking through, his speed had reached a shocking level. He had been on the run for over 2 months. Now, he had reached the sky above the land of entanglement in 2 hours. At this time, Green Dragon Shadow, Green Dragon Moon, and the rest had also sent him a message. His eyes flickered when he saw the message. Green Dragon Shadow had yet to gain complete control of the Dragon Palace. However, he was preventing the plant demonic beasts experts from taking the Dragon Palace. Currently, they were still in a stalemate. The great elves had been changed to ambassadors. Chapter 3500, that group of demonic beasts still hasn't left. Is it because they haven't received news of the death of that third-order sovereign realm heaven plant? With a flap of the unbeginning saint wings, Wang Xian dived into the underground river of the entangled land at a terrifying speed. After entering the underground river, his speed increased again. In fact, they had already received news of the death of the golden ring heaven plant beast. Furthermore, the mirror image of the golden ring heaven plant demon beast before its death had already been transmitted to the heaven plant demon beast race. Seeing the mirror image, the heaven plant's demon beast patriarch was speechless. His face was full of embarrassment and anger as he cursed, "Idiot, you're courting death." If he wasn't an idiot, then what was? In order to chase after a second-order sovereign realm divine dragon, he actually dared to barge into the fairy race's territory. Wasn't he courting death? Barging into the territory of a peak race, there was no way to escape even if he wanted to. As for the divine dragon, it seemed to them that it was also dead. Even the golden ring heaven plant beast was dead, not to mention the mystical dragon. In order to chase after a divine dragon, he ended up losing his life. It was extremely foolish. When the 8 heaven plant demonic beasts received this news, other than being shocked, they didn't leave. Lord Golden Ring Heavenly Plant was dead, and so was that divine dragon. However, none of this would stop them from completely suppressing and collecting this dragon palace. In the sky above the dragon palace, the tree was still swallowing the entire dragon palace. 90% of the dragon palace's surface area had been covered by its branches. Soon, the entire dragon palace would be devoured. At that time, they would be able to easily take it. At most 3 days. Continue to inject energy and guard the last dragon gate. Don't let them escape. A heaven plant demonic beast expert shouted. The other 7 nodded. Whoosh. However, just as they finished their words, Wang Xian appeared in front of the dragon palace. Silently, the 8 heaven plant demonic beasts did not sense his arrival. Courting death. Wang Xian looked at the 8 heaven plant demonic beasts coldly. Crash. The unbeginning saint wings flapped, and she instantly attacked the 8 heaven plant demonic beast experts. Quick. It was extremely fast. Before the 8 heaven plant demon beasts could react, Wang Xian had already passed by them. Wang Xian's current speed was comparable to a true universe ruler realm existence. Pu. When Wang Xian arrived above the Dragon Palace, the piercing sound was heard. A faint smile appeared on his face. Bam bam bam. There were no screams or sounds as the 8 corpses fell to the ground. With a wave of his arm, Wang Xian kept all their corpses. Whoosh. He moved to the side of the devouring Dragon Palace's divine tree and sized it up. It was a carnate cardinal treasure, not a living divine tree. A stream of energy landed on it and the branches covering the Dragon Palace retracted rapidly, disappearing from sight. At this moment, within the Dragon Palace, the azure dragon whiskered shadow was refining the Dragon Palace, resisting the other party's suppression. When he saw the branch disappear in an instant, he revealed a shocked expression. It's the Dragon King. It's the Dragon King. At that moment, an expert of the ancestral dragon bloodline exclaimed as he looked outside from the entrance of the Dragon Gate. It's really the Dragon King. Where are the experts of the Heaven Plant Demonic Beast clan? Azure Dragon Shu Ying and the others were startled and immediately headed outside. Dragon King. They flew out and shouted at Wang Xian. Hihi, brother Azure Dragon Shu Ying, are you guys alright? Wang Xian looked at them and asked with a smile. Brother Wang Xian, we are fine. What about the experts of the Heaven Plant Demonic Beast clan? Azure Dragon Shu Ying asked doubtfully. It's settled. Brother Azure Dragon Shu Ying, hurry up and refine the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian replied to him. It's settled. Azure Dragon Shu Ying widened his eyes and was moved. Brother Wang Xian, I'm almost done refining the Dragon Palace. I can move it now. Oh. Alright, let's head back. Wang Xian nodded his head. Azure Dragon Shu Ying nodded his head. Brother Wang Xian, how did you get rid of that Heaven Plant Demonic Beast with the combat strength of a third-order universe sovereign? Azure Dragon Yu asked Wang Xian in surprise. I didn't get rid of him. I escaped to the border of the fairies, and they killed him. Wang Xian looked at him. The fairies? Azure Dragon Yu was taken aback. I was lucky this time, Wang Xian said. Wang Xian replied. He was indeed lucky this time. It was also fortunate that he had a companion spirit. Otherwise, he might have been killed by the fairies. It's all thanks to brother Wang Xian this time. If not for you, we wouldn't have any gains. Azure Dragon Shu Ying said gratefully. Hihi, if not for Azure Dragon Shu Ying and the rest, I wouldn't have such gains. Let's go. Wang Xian shook his head and entered the Dragon Palace. The Azure Dragon Beard Shadow controlled the Dragon Palace and flew out. In the Dragon Palace, Azure Dragon Yu and the rest were exhilarated. Their trip this time was considered a complete success. The group of experts from the ancestral dragon lineage invited Wang Xian for a celebration. For the next dozen days, Wang Xian stayed in the Dragon Palace. He was prepared to escort Azure Dragon Shu Ying and the rest to a safe place before leaving. Wang Xian was no longer afraid of most of the existences in the chaotic continent. According to the fairies, universe sovereign realm experts were forbidden from interfering with their race. Therefore, only experts of the same level with inborn cardinal treasures could suppress him. He was almost invincible. Even an expert with a carnate cardinal treasure would find it difficult to kill him. Days passed. Wang Xian, Azure Dragon Yu, and the rest communicated about certain matters. Time passed by quickly. A few months later, they came to the forest where they had agreed to meet previously. Brothers, I'll make a move first. Take care. Wang Xian cupped his fists and said to Azure Dragon Shu Ying and the rest of the experts from the ancestral dragon lineage. All right. Brother Wang Xian, you have to be careful too. Azure Dragon Shu Ying and the rest nodded and cupped their fists in response. Wang Xian nodded and parted with them. Why do I feel that brother Wang Xian has grown stronger again? Azure Dragon Shu Ying mumbled to himself as he watched Wang Xian disappear. Indeed. I can't see through him anymore. Azure Dragon Yu nodded. Moreover, His dragon palace is terrifying. The number of spike dragons is definitely not small. The 100 Cities Alliance is almost crippled by the dragon palace. It's a little difficult to cripple them. The foundation of the 100 Cities Alliance is too strong. We, the ancestral dragon lineage, know that they are involved, but we turned a blind eye. The dragon palace has caused them great trouble, but their foundation and strength are still there. Azure Dragon Shu Ying said slowly. Chapter 3501. At the same time, Wang Xian bade farewell to Azure Dragon Shadow and the rest. Just as he arrived at the dragon palace, he heard a roar of excitement. When Wang Xian heard this voice, he was slightly taken aback. Buzz. In a flash, he appeared at the dragon gate in the north of the dragon palace. There, the devouring dragons raised their heads and roared excitedly. The fire dragon palace and the demonic dragon dark world had completely disappeared. Roving Crab was in the middle, and he emitted the aura of a second-order sovereign. Su su su. At this moment, many figures flew over. These figures also emitted the aura of a second-order universe sovereign, and there were 2 Radiance divine dragons among them. Greetings, Dragon King. Aosier and the rest greeted respectfully when they saw Wang Xian. The 2 Radiance divine dragons and the rest of the second-order universe sovereigns from the Dragon Palace also saluted. Get up, you've improved a lot this time. Wang Xian swept his gaze across them and revealed a faint smile. He had already placed the 8 heaven plant beasts he killed in the Dragon Palace. It had been completely absorbed by the members of Dragon Palace. Currently, the Dragon Palace had a total of 28 second-order sovereigns, including Aosier and the other devouring dragons with second-order sovereigns' combat strength. With the combat strength of 28 second-order sovereigns, including him, their strength was not much weaker than the 100 Cities Alliance. The only people weaker than the 100 Cities Alliance in the Dragon Palace were first-order sovereigns and venerables. After all, they still had more than 90 cities. Dragon King, I heard that our Dragon Palace is currently fighting with another force. Now that our devouring dragon has been upgraded, when are we going to deal with them? Aosier's eyes emitted intense battle intent as he spoke. Haha, don't be anxious. We will take action immediately. Wang Xian glanced at them and smiled. Follow me. Let's head to the Eternal River first. As he spoke, he moved and arrived at the location of the teleportation formation. Aosier and the others immediately followed behind and stepped into the teleportation formation. Buzz. Prime Minister Turtle, call Ao Yarrow and the rest of the 8-limbed Devil Fiend Sky formation here. Wang Xian instructed Prime Minister Turtle as soon as he arrived. It's Dragon King. Upon hearing the order, Prime Minister Turtle immediately responded. Yaki Demonshaw and the rest were looking for opportunities to kill the disciples and experts of the 100 Cities Alliance. Roving Demon stood guard around the 100 Cities Alliance. The 100 Cities Alliance was forced into a passive position by the spike dragons. The Spinulosaurus species had also been lying in wait around a fixed city. It could appear in this city, or it could appear in another city. In short, in order to prevent themselves from being surrounded by the experts of the 100 Cities Alliance, they would not always stay around a city to carry out assassinations. Right now, the 100 Cities Alliance didn't have any good ideas. They could only protect the inside of the city, but they couldn't do anything to the outside. Recently, not many people from the 100 Cities Alliance left their cities. If they wanted to get out, they would do it in a special way. For example, he could instantly return to the Divine Kingdom hidden outside. Most of the disciples and experts of the 100 Cities Alliance went into seclusion for tens of thousands of years. Buzz buzz buzz. Greetings, Dragon King. Not long after, Orokai and the rest returned. How's the situation of the 100 Cities Alliance recently? Wang Xian asked with a smile. Dragon King, it's a little difficult to assassinate the disciples and experts of the 100 Cities Alliance now. They're either holed up in the city, or they're entering and exiting the city through the teleportation formation or other means. Roving Demon reported. Get all the spiky dragons to retreat. There's no need for us to continue wasting time with them. Wang Xian said plainly as he looked at Orokai and Demon Fiend. Orokai, you guys have a better understanding of the 100 Cities Alliance. Choose 15 cities. One will have a second-order universe sovereign, and the rest will have first-order universe sovereigns. Alright, Dragon King. Dragon King, what should we do this time? Orokai and Roving Demon nodded their heads and asked with flickering eyes. Attack directly. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a sinister look. We'll strike instantly and attack 15 cities at the same time. Attack 15 cities at the same time? Orokai and Roving Demon's eyes flickered as they looked around. When they saw the experts from Dragon Palace, they nodded their heads slightly. This was sufficient. Dragon Palace, given our strength, we can easily annihilate 15 cities. However, we might still encounter danger. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance has the combat strength of a third-order universe sovereign. Orokai said. Therefore, we have to be careful this time. If we encounter the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance, escape immediately. Wang Xian nodded his head. There was only one third-order universe sovereign in the 100 Cities Alliance, and that was the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. According to the information, the other party was a sorcerer and did not have any inborn cardinal treasures. He shouldn't be a match for Wang Xian. Of course, Wang Xian couldn't be 100% sure when facing the strongest expert of such a huge force. Dragon King, I think we can attack these 15 cities. Orokai and Demon Fiend discussed for a while and wrote down the 15 cities. These 15 cities were closer to where they were, and it would take them less time to fly there. Sure. Wang Xian nodded his head immediately when he saw it. Do you think you're safe just because you're holed up in the cities? This time, the strength of Wang Xian and the members of Dragon Palace had reached a certain level. They could attack directly. This time, it would be a real competition of strength. Although Dragon Palace was still not as strong as the 100 Cities Alliance. The 100 Cities Alliance was, after all, a loose alliance. All their strength wasn't concentrated. Therefore, Wang Xian and the rest had a high chance of success. Get ready. After confirming the 15 cities, Wang Xian's eyes flashed with murderous intent. I'll get Enlai to bring us there one by one. This time, let's make the 100 Cities Alliance more miserable. Although the 15 cities were the closest to where they were, it would take at least a year for them to fly over. Given Wang Xian's current speed, it would take at least a year for them to fly over. After all, there were 15 cities. There was a long distance between the cities. Moreover, there weren't any teleportation formations. It would take even longer for Orokai and the rest to finish their preparations. If Enlai wanted to go, he would be able to make all the preparations within 10 days. Yes. Orokai and the rest nodded their heads. Soon, Enlai arrived after receiving the order. He started to teleport towards the 15 cities. As the days passed, Wang Xian waited patiently in the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, Demon Fiend, and the rest have made the arrangements. You're the only one left. Half a month later, Dark Blaze's figure appeared and reported. Let's go. Wang Xian nodded his head. Chapter 3502, Wang. Daming City was a powerful city in the 100 Cities Alliance. It had 2 Universe Lord-level experts guarding it. Within the 100 Cities Alliance, it was one of the more advanced cities. Ever since the war between the 100 Cities Alliance and the Divine Dragon Palace broke out, cities with second-order sovereigns' combat strength were greatly affected. At this moment, Daming City was much livelier than the other cities. After all, the number of disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance was too great. After the successive destruction of a number of cities and the Dragon Palace's Thorn Dragons, although the 100 Cities Alliance's disciples rarely left the cities, they could still teleport within the city. With over 90 cities, the area was large enough. Teleporting to a stronger city was also a guarantee of safety. Daming City might not be as bustling as before, but there were still many people walking around. Wang Xian's figure gradually appeared in front of Daming City. His gaze swept across the city in front of him. He took out the Universe AI and sent a message to Barky Demon Fiend, Ao Yarrow, and the rest. Dragon King, we're ready. Soon, replies came in one after another. Attack together in 10 minutes. Once you see the Alliance leader teleporting over, escape immediately. Wang Xian gave the timing of the attack. Yes. Orokai and the rest replied immediately. Wang Xian looked at Daming City, flapped his unbeginning saint wings, and approached it slowly. He couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't be discovered when he entered the city. Therefore, he planned to attack in 10 minutes. If I were to fly from this city gate to the other gate, it would take me 30 seconds at top speed. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he arrived at Daming City. In 30 seconds, he could turn a third of the city into ruins. The Dragon Palace's counterattack officially begins today. I'd like to see how the 100 Cities Alliance is going to resist. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes as he stood there quietly, waiting for the time to arrive. 10 minutes passed quickly. Boom. When the last second arrived, Wang Xian flapped his unbeginning saint wings, and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. Waves of energy surged into it, turning into dead energy. The leaf on his body emitted a beam of light. From the outside world's perception, this was a strange wood attribute energy. Wang, Dark Ghost's doppelganger, appeared beside him. He headed straight for Daming City. The 5 elements great grindstone in Xiao Chen's hand released a destructive energy that covered the area below. It covered a third of the city's width. In the next moment, a strange and terrifying scene appeared. Boom, boom, boom. Wang Xian pushed his speed to the maximum. Wherever he flew past, he was hit by the destructive energy. Below them, all the buildings collapsed, and all the disciples of Daming City died instantly. Apart from the roar, there wasn't even a scream. Wang Xian stared at him without any mercy in his eyes. Those who were still in the cities of the 100 Cities Alliance were all loyal core disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance. If they were alive, they would attack the Dragon Palace in the future. The war between the two sides had already reached the point where either you die or I die. Beep beep beep. When Wang Xian suddenly dashed into the city, the alarm at the center of Daming City rang suddenly. The urgent voice resounded throughout the City Lord's mansion, causing everyone to be slightly startled. Look over there. Hey, what's this? A few experts in the City Lord's mansion looked ahead. They saw a green light shrouding the area below them like a poisonous fog. The buildings collapsed, and the disciples and experts died instantly. It was as though doomsday had arrived. Moreover, this doomsday was spreading towards them at a terrifying speed. This caused their expressions to change drastically, and their faces were filled with fear. What? At this moment, 2 old men in the center of the City Lord's mansion flew into the sky and looked over. They couldn't see any figures. All they saw was a huge green poisonous fog shrouding over. The speed was terrifying. The war between the Dragon Palace and the 100 Cities Alliance officially begins. Wang Xian's eyes were fixed on the 2 figures in the direction of the City Lord's mansion. They couldn't see Wang Xian because his speed was too fast. But Wang Xian could see them. 2 second-order universe sovereigns. Oh no, run, or it'll be too late. At this moment, the 2 second-order universe sovereigns from Daming City felt death and doomsday looming over them. Their expressions changed drastically as they roared. They quickly flew downwards, trying to break through the defenses of the blessed land of cultivation. It's the voice of an expert from the Dragon Palace. How is this possible? This is definitely the destructive power of a third-order universe sovereign. How can there be such a terrifying expert in the Dragon Palace? When they heard Wang Xian's voice, they roared in disbelief. What was the strength of the Dragon Palace in the beginning? A first-order universe sovereign was already the strongest. Now, there was actually a third-order universe sovereign. This made them feel incredulous. Boom. Not good. Just as they were fleeing downwards, a pair of dazzling dragon horns suddenly attacked them from below. The speed of the dragon horns was even more terrifying. When they saw this scene, their expressions changed drastically. They hurriedly flew up into the sky to avoid this terrifying attack. Boom. In the next moment, the entire City Lord's mansion below them was turned into ruins. One strike, just one strike. It's definitely a third-order universe sovereign. Run, all disciples of Daming City, run. When the 2 second-order sovereigns saw this, their eyes nearly popped out of their sockets as they roared in fear. Don't even think of escaping. At this time, a voice sounded in their ears. In the next moment, they saw a figure close to them. They were very familiar with this figure. They had seen his portrait before. The Dragon King of Dragon Palace. How could it be? Their eyes were wide open and their faces were filled with despair. How could it be the Dragon King of Dragon Palace? How could he be so strong? Boom. In the next moment, their vitality disappeared rapidly as they fell into endless darkness. Wang Xian kept the corpses and continued his attack without any hesitation. Run. At this time, the entire Daming City was in chaos. The sound of buildings collapsing, the roar of attacks, and the alarm of the city. It was doomsday. They could only flee frantically. However, under such a terrifying attack, the only ones who could escape were the disciples and experts of Daming City who were not covered by Wang Xian's attack. Even so, there were still many experts and disciples who could not react in time. Wang Xian's speed was too fast. So fast that they were in despair. They did not even have the time to escape back to their own holy kingdom. Chapter 3503, Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. Sounds of destruction reverberated in the sky above Daming City. The entire city was reduced to ruins at a frightening speed. Dozens of seconds later, Wang Xian hovered in the sky above Daming City, looking coldly at the ruined city. No reinforcements are coming? Wang Xian murmured with a chuckle. Dragon King, there are treasures here. I'll go and get them. The Aqua Tentacle King stared at the ruins of Daming City as he shouted to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian nodded as he hovered in the sky above Daming City. He did not escape immediately. Given his current strength, even if the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance came, so what? Given his strength, he could totally go against him. As for whether he could kill him, it would depend on the strength of the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. The Aqua Tentacle King quickly collected the treasures in Daming City. Some water-attributed treasures were swallowed into his stomach. Wang Xian sensed it but did not say anything. The Aqua Tentacle King was more useful than Tianzhen in the Dragon Palace. After all, there were no shackles for him to reach the Universe Lord realm. It would be extremely difficult for Tianzhen to break through to the Universe Lord realm. At this stage, it was no longer a problem of resources, but one's talent and luck. Just as Daming City was destroyed, the 14 cities closest to Daming City also suffered horrifying attack. The attacks of the 8-limbed devil fiend, Ao Xie, and the rest had brought disaster to the cities. Cries of agony spread across the 14 cities. Wong wong wong. Just as Daming City and the other 14 cities were under attack, some of the 108 mountain peaks in the old lair of the 100 Cities Alliance started to tremble. This was a new form of alert for the 100 Cities Alliance. Once a city experienced the combat strength of a Universe Lord, the mountain peaks would tremble. Now, 15 mountain peaks were trembling. This meant that 15 cities were under attack. Swish swish swish. In an instant, figures appeared in the sky above the 15 mountain peaks, including the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. He stared at the 15 cities with a terrifying look in his eyes. 15 cities are under attack. Send reinforcements immediately and kill all the invaders. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance bellowed. Swish. As his voice fell, he directly flew towards a mountain below. There was a teleportation portal on the mountain, and as soon as he landed on it, he disappeared. 2 people in a team, go and provide support. The 20 experts of the 100 Cities Alliance looked at each other and growled in a low voice. These 20 members were the trusted aides that the 100 Cities Alliance leader had nurtured for countless years. All of them were second-order sovereigns. They moved and landed on the teleportation formations on the various peaks. As for some of the cities that didn't have reinforcements, they couldn't care less. Ink Cloud City was one of the cities attacked by the experts of Dragon Palace. Beneath a ruin, a wave of terrifying energy came from below. Boom! The surrounding ruins immediately turned to ashes, and the figure of the 100 City Alliance's Alliance Master appeared. He sensed his surroundings, his face extremely gloomy. At this moment, half of the city had been reduced to ruins. In the sky in front of them, 2 figures were still wreaking havoc. Its massive body and terrifying claws would turn a large area into ruins every time it waved its claws. A terrifying existence is descending, we have to flee. At this instant, the two devouring dragons felt the aura of the 100 Cities Alliance leader, and their expressions changed. The Dragon King had reminded them to flee the moment they met a Third-Order Universe sovereign. They did not hesitate. The two devouring dragons started to turn illusory, courting death. The 100 Cities Alliance leader saw the two devouring dragons turning illusory, and his face was filled with violence and bloodthirst. His body shook, and the blood-red eyes on his chest released a red glow. A red light shot into the body of one of the devouring dragons. However, this red light seemed to have no offensive power, and it did not stop the devouring dragon from disappearing. Die. However, the 100 Cities Alliance leader did not care, and he roared. He extended an arm, and the red eyes on his chest turned into a sinister red eye. The eye disappeared in an instant. At the same time, the two devouring dragons returned from the Dragon Palace, and they heaved a sigh of relief. Ah! All of a sudden, one of the devouring dragons screamed, and a blood-red eye appeared in front of him. The devouring dragon's body started to crumble, and it turned into a puddle of blood. This was the mysterious ability of a sorcerer, Wang. The soul-returning wood on the progenitor tree trembled, and the souls of the devouring dragons were absorbed. Who are you? How dare you attack our 100 Cities Alliance's cities? Courting death. At the same time, in the other 10 cities, 22nd Order Universe sovereigns from the 100 Cities Alliance rushed over through the transmission array. When they saw the two Second Order Universe sovereigns wreaking havoc in the city, their expressions changed, and they roared coldly. Ha ha ha, 100 Cities Alliance, don't you recognize your Dragon Palace grandpa? Just the two of you are here to help. The 8 limitless dragons stared at them, and his face was filled with mockery. Dragon Palace. When they heard the two words, their eyes were filled with killing intent. Dragon Palace, you're courting death. The two experts from the 100 Cities Alliance roared in anger, and they charged towards the 8 limitless dragons and the devouring dragons. We're courting death. Haha, you're the ones courting death. This time, all 15 of your cities will be annihilated. The 8 limitless dragons laughed maniacally, and they clashed with them. Against opponents of the same level, they weren't afraid. Roar! Roar! The devouring dragon roared, and it charged over, swiping with its claws. A single city couldn't withstand the might of 4 Second Order Universe sovereigns. Their battle caused the buildings in the city to rapidly collapse. Run, run! We can't get close to a battle of this level. All disciples, run! Within the city, some of the surviving disciples and experts, as well as the lords of the city, cried out in fear when they saw the battle that had broken out. The same scene was happening in the other 9 cities. Would the experts of the Dragon Palace be afraid of those at the same level as them? They would fight directly. It didn't take long for the sky above the cities to change color. Along with it, cities after cities were turned into ruins. To the experts and disciples in the cities, this was a disaster. As for the cities that didn't have reinforcements from the 100 Cities Alliance, they were already in ruins. Completely wiped out. Chapter 3504. Quick, run. It's the Dragon Palace's experts. They're attacking again. Run. I swear, I will never step into the 100 Cities Alliance again. Within a city of the 100 Cities Alliance, cries of fear and escape could be heard. There were also those cursing and swearing. Breaking down. At this moment, those disciples and experts that were still alive were on the verge of breaking down. Not long ago, they couldn't even leave the city. They thought that they would be safe within the city. But now, 2 Second Order Universe sovereigns from the Dragon Palace charged over, and they could not even resist. Within the city, even the strongest city lord had to hide when he saw the 2 experts from the Dragon Palace. Those were Second Order Universe sovereigns. Their cities could not withstand them. The Dragon Palace's experts wreaked havoc. The 100 Cities Alliance's experts came to support, and they started fighting. Everything happened too suddenly. Very quickly, the news of 15 cities of the Alliance being attacked and destroyed spread like wildfire through the universe AI. Even though they were caught off guard by the Dragon Palace's sudden invasion, the cities were too big. However, the city was too big, and many of the Alliance's disciples and experts still managed to escape. When they escaped and exposed this matter on the universe's AI, the entire 100 Cities Alliance was stunned. Our 10,000 law city was attacked by two second-order universe sovereigns from the Dragon Palace. Our city was destroyed, and more than half of our people died. The Dragon Palace is too terrifying, their strength is too terrifying. Our city was also attacked by two second-order universe sovereigns. Our 100 Cities Alliance's reinforcements arrived, and they fought with the Dragon Palace's expert. Your city was still fine. Our Great Ming City suffered an even more terrifying attack. Can you imagine? In less than a minute, a city was destroyed, and our city lord was killed. Our city lord was a second-order universe sovereign, but he was killed in an instant. It was done by the Dragon Palace's expert. Hiss, 15 cities were attacked at the same time, and 15 cities were turned into ruins in an instant. The Dragon Palace sent too many experts, and their strength is much more terrifying than we imagined. Our 100 Cities Alliance is doomed. Another 15 cities were destroyed. Where will we go from here? On the Universe AI, those disciples who managed to escape with their lives were discussing. Seeing their discussions and hearing their news, the experts and disciples of the other cities of the 100 City Alliance were all dumbfounded. 15 cities were attacked. Moreover, it was the kind of attack that destroyed the cities with great strength. Even third-order sovereigns had appeared. This is too terrifying. Dragon Palace was still Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace's attacks were getting scarier and scarier. This time, the strength that the Dragon Palace had displayed was too strong. There were at least 28 second-order sovereigns. At least one third-order sovereign realm expert. He was so powerful that the other city lords of the 100 Cities Alliance felt fear and despair. In the face of such a powerful Dragon Palace, how could they resist? In the future, if the experts of Dragon Palace came to attack a city, the city would be turned into ruins before the reinforcements of the 100 Cities Alliance could arrive. Panic spread in all the cities. Time to run, time to fuck them all up. My life is more important. I'm going to betray my city. I've decided to go into seclusion. I'll return to my god kingdom and go into seclusion for 1,000,000 years. I won't come out no matter who calls for me. I won't stay in the city, either I go into seclusion or I leave. I can't stay in any city in the 100 Cities Alliance anymore. This time, the experts and disciples of the other cities of the 100 Cities Alliance pissed their pants in fear. I'm not doing this. I'm going to hide. I'm leaving the 100 Cities Alliance. My life is more important. Damn, how can the Dragon Palace be so strong? This is unbelievable. The Dragon Palace actually has close to 30 experts. I thought the Dragon Palace wasn't that strong. How can they be so strong? You keep saying that the Dragon Palace isn't strong, but they are getting stronger and stronger. Can't you be more reliable? Could it be that the ancestral dragon bloodline is involved? According to the Dragon Palace's development, they shouldn't be so strong. The ancestral dragon bloodline is involved. That might be possible. The other forces discussed fervently when they saw the news. Every time the Dragon Palace displayed their strength, they would be in an uproar. The Dragon Palace was like a bottomless pit. Every time it exploded, it would shock everyone. Every time it was stronger than the last. Every time it was more terrifying than the last. The collapse of 15 cities had shaken all the forces and races in the area. The strength that the Dragon Palace displayed this time was enough to contend against the 100 Cities Alliance. How is this possible? At this moment, at the bottom of a forest, Azure Dragon Moon, Azure Dragon Beard Shadow, and the others were shocked when they saw this message. Although they had just received news of the Dragon Palace's destruction of 15 cities, they knew that the ancestral dragon bloodline was not involved. However, they knew one thing: the ancestral dragon bloodline did not participate in it. This was all due to the Dragon Palace's own strength. According to the analysis, the Dragon Palace displayed 28 second-order universe sovereigns and one third-order universe sovereign. That third-order universe sovereign should be the Dragon King. Qing Longyu, Qing Longying, and the rest exchanged looks of disbelief. This force was too strong. It was so strong that it was a significant force even for the ancestral dragon bloodline. How did the Dragon Palace improve so quickly? Did they hide it from us, or is there another reason? Also, is the Dragon King's improvement due to the elf race? Qing Longying murmured, his eyes shining. Not long ago, they had felt that after the Dragon King was chased back by the heaven plant demon beast, his strength had possibly broken through. Is it related to the elf race? No matter what, this is beneficial to the ancestral dragon bloodline. After all, we have a good relationship with the Dragon Palace. Moreover, the 100 Cities Alliance is in greater trouble now. Their disaster is about to begin, Qing Longyu said with a smile. The rest nodded with a smile. Let's go back. At the same time, Wang Xian received information about the cities through Enlai. He immediately sent a message. The Water Tentacle King flew over with the treasures of a city and disappeared. This was the first time the Dragon Palace retaliated. Next, there would be more such attacks until the 100 Cities Alliance was destroyed. Chapter 3505. Ha ha ha, this feels great. Within the Dragon Palace, Orokai and the rest cheered excitedly. This time, for them, it was a great way to vent their anger. Over the past few years, they had been attacking the 100 Cities Alliance continuously, which had affected them greatly. But the Dragon Palace still had to be careful outside. Now that they had annihilated 15 cities, they were feeling great. Now, the Dragon Palace had the ability to face the 100 Cities Alliance head-on. Are there any injuries? Wang Xian looked at them with a smile and asked. Dragon King, one of my men escaped back to the Dragon Palace, but was killed by the curse. Ao Xie said. Huh? He was killed in the Dragon Palace? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow. With a wave of his hand, an image appeared before him. It was the scene of the devouring dragon being killed. It was a strange death. Hey! Is this the doing of the 100 Cities Alliance's leader? How creepy. Orokai and the rest looked over and were shocked. It's indeed creepy. This should be the doing of a curse sorcerer. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance is a powerful sorcerer. Tianjin's eyes flickered as he looked over. Only the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance is a third-order universe sovereign. Given our strength, we can defeat him. Orokai chuckled. It's hard to say. It depends on the opponent's defense and foundation. Wang Xian said plainly. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance was a sorcerer, and the means of a sorcerer were unpredictable. Other than that, it also depended on whether he had treasures. Wang Xian's speed was terrifying, but his attacks were only at the level of a third-order universe sovereign. If the opponent had defensive treasures, there was nothing he could do. Other than that, it also depended on the strength of the opponent's treasures. The 5 elements grindstone in Wang Xian's hand was still at the level of a second-order universe sovereign. The Tai Chi dragon plate was the same. Wang Xian was not 100% confident that he could defeat the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. Unless one of the 5 elements grindstone, Tai Chi dragon plate, or Water Tentacle King broke through, he would be confident. It's a pity that we didn't manage to get the treasures in the cities this time. Orokai said. Yaki Demon Fiend, the two of you go and make a plan. Shorten the target of the next attack to 5 cities. Wang Xian instructed them. This attack was just the beginning. Wang Xian would not stop. He just didn't know what the 100 Cities Alliance would do next. It's Dragon King. Yamata no Demon Fiend and the others immediately responded. Water Tentacle, how's the harvest this time? Wang Xian asked her. Boss, the harvest is not bad. It's just that. I devoured the water attribute treasure. The Water Tentacle King laughed. Pass the remaining treasures to Prime Minister Turtle. How much more do you need to recover to the third-order universe sovereign realm? Wang Xian asked. There's still a long way to go. We'll need at least 10 more cities like the one we just had. The Water Tentacle King said. Wang Xian shook his head slightly. Daming City was the most powerful and resourceful city among the cities they attacked. Another 10 cities with the same resources as this one? Too many. Wang Xian arrived at the location of the dragon transformation pool and threw the corpses of 2 second-order universe sovereigns and 3 first-order universe sovereigns to the side. He informed Prime Minister Turtle to send the disciples of the Dragon Palace to break through. This battle would add another 2 second-order universe sovereigns to the Dragon Palace. It was too easy for him to kill experts of this level in an instant. Let's continue the operation and find a chance to meet the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. Wang Xian murmured. He wasn't too sure about the strength of the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. If he could suppress or even kill him, Wang Xian would be able to strike without restraint. Alliance leader, what should we do now? Daming City and the other 15 cities are all in ruins. Dragon Palace has third-order universe sovereigns. What should we do in the future? I'm sorry, Alliance leader. Sky City will withdraw from the 100 Cities Alliance and become a true neutral city. The 100 Cities Alliance has gone against the original intention of not participating in any conflicts. Dharma Characteristic City will withdraw from the 100 Cities Alliance. We didn't get any benefits and will be wiped out at any time. We will withdraw too. At this moment, in the headquarters of the 100 Cities Alliance, on this day, all the city lords had gathered together. The tallest mountain in the center was noisy. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance sat at the front and looked at them coldly. There wasn't the slightest bit of emotion in him. Dozens of city lords expressed their intention to withdraw from the 100 Cities Alliance. If they didn't withdraw now, they might never be able to do so in the future, because they had already been wiped out. 15 cities were attacked and even Daming City was wiped out. The city lords of Daming City and the rest were dead. This time, the strength that the Dragon Palace had displayed made them tremble. Especially when the Dragon Palace had third-order universe sovereigns. What could they do with such an expert? What could the 100 Cities Alliance do? That Dragon Palace expert came to their cities and started a massacre. They might be wiped out before reinforcements from the 100 Cities Alliance arrived. Most importantly, even if reinforcements arrived, could they be saved? Therefore, dozens of city lords expressed their intention to withdraw from the 100 Cities Alliance. Withdraw? Do you think there's a way out? Do you really think that the ancestral dragon's bloodline doesn't know that the 100 Cities Alliance is participating in their war? Can you guarantee that the Dragon Palace won't wipe you out if you withdraw? Take up your resources. The 100 Cities Alliance leader didn't speak. Instead, an old man below him spoke coldly. His words caused everyone's faces to sink. Their expressions changed drastically. It was indeed too late for them to withdraw now. I wonder if the Alliance leader has any good ideas. One of the city lords with a second-order sovereign realm cultivation looked at the 100 City Alliance leader and asked. The weakness of the 100 Cities Alliance is too obvious. It's too loose. The leader of the 100 City Alliance said coldly. Huh? What do you mean, Alliance leader? All the city lords were stunned and their eyes flickered. The 100 Cities Alliance is too loose. It's troublesome to mobilize our forces. The Dragon Palace will take us down one by one. The 100 Cities Alliance will unite and form the 100 Cities Alliance. The Alliance leader said faintly. What? The 100 Cities Alliance will unite? The Alliance leader's words shocked all the city lords. Chapter 3506. All the city lords present understood what the 100 Cities Alliance meant. This meant that they would go from a loose alliance to a unified force. This meant that there would be a hierarchy and a division of power. In the past, the 100 Cities Alliance only needed to obey some orders from the alliance leader. Now that they were united, they would become a force with discipline and rules. Some city lords would have to listen to the orders of the other city lords. The benefits were obvious. When their powers were united, they would reach a terrifying level. The downside was that they would have to submit to others. The expressions of the city lords changed. Don't be anxious. I know you don't want to submit to others and not want to be restricted. But now that the 100 Cities Alliance has reached such a stage, we have no other choice. This unity can be temporary. After we destroy the Dragon Palace, the 100 Cities Alliance will be the same as before. The leader of the 100 City Alliance said calmly. When the city lords heard this, their expressions softened and they fell into deep thought. Now, the 100 Cities Alliance had no way out. To them, there were two choices. One was to give up their cities and leave with their trusted aides, hiding for a period of time before coming out again. 2 was to do as the Alliance leader said, unite, unite, and destroy the Dragon Palace. Alliance leader, can we destroy the Dragon Palace if we unite? The Dragon Palace has Third-Order Universe sovereigns and close to 32nd-Order Universe sovereigns. Can we destroy them with our strength? A city lord asked the most crucial question. They didn't want to lose their positions as city lords and the authority they had today. But after the 100 Cities Alliance united, could they destroy the Dragon Palace? If they couldn't, they might as well not be city lords and lead their trusted aides to rebuild the Dragon Palace. The sacred dragon bloodline has agreed to give us all the rewards. This is a considerable amount of resources. When the time comes, I will raise my strength and become invincible among those below the Universe Lord realm. The leader of the 100 City Alliance said calmly. Invincible among those below the Universe Lord realm? When the city lords heard this, they were slightly moved. Also, they will lend us a Xiantian treasure. The Alliance leader of the 100 Cities Alliance added as his gaze swept across all the city lords in front of him. He didn't force them. If he did, it would be easier for them to have second thoughts. He said these words, knowing what they would choose. Alliance Master, we believe in you. However, once the Dragon Palace is destroyed, we hope to restore the 100 Cities Alliance and restore the previous rules. A city lord's eyes lit up, and he immediately responded. As long as the Alliance Master had a carnate cardinal treasure, he could easily kill an expert of the same level. Not to mention, the Alliance Master could be promoted even further this time. Sure, my goal is the ancestral wizard realm. The leader of the 100 City Alliance said indifferently. If the Alliance Master can become the Grand Wizard, we are willing to serve you. The city lords immediately bowed respectfully, their eyes shining. Perhaps this day won't be long. The leader of the 100 City Alliance revealed a faint smile. Although 15 cities had been destroyed this time, it wasn't a bad thing for him. Seeing that the Dragon Palace was so powerful, the sacred dragon bloodline was afraid that the 100 Cities Alliance would retreat. Hence, they offered up all the treasures and resources that they had promised. One of the things that was very important to him had also been delivered to him. That thing could possibly be the key to opening the Universe Lord realm. That thing, coupled with the carnate cardinal treasure that the sacred dragon bloodline had lent him, he was confident that he could easily kill an expert of the same level. Even a divine dragon wouldn't be able to escape from his grasp. We agree with your plan, Alliance Master. 100 cities unite. The city lords' eyes lit up when they heard this. If the leader of the 100 City Alliance could become the Grand Wizard, it would be a huge benefit to them. The Grand Wizard was the true pinnacle expert of this universe. Gather all our forces here. The Dragon Palace will be destroyed very soon, the leader of the 100 City Alliance ordered. Yes, Alliance Master. The city lords immediately responded. Very soon, something that shocked all the forces in the great desolate continent happened. 100 cities unite. The 100 cities unite to become a truly powerful force. It wasn't as loose as before. Damn, 100 cities unite? They were forced to such a state by the Dragon Palace. The 100 cities unite means that they are no longer a neutral city. The 100 City Alliance has been forced to such a state. However, once the 100 cities unite, their power will be terrifying, that's for sure. The 100 cities unite will have 200 to 300 Universe Lords, right? There will be quite a number of second-order Universe Lords too. The 100 City Alliance used to be loose. Once they unite, they will be terrifying. This is to prevent them from being taken down one by one. Once the 100 City Alliance unites, the Dragon Palace will be in trouble. Every city in the 100 City Alliance has a deep foundation, comparable to a high-level race. Now that they unite, they will probably be forced into a corner by the Dragon Palace. I think they will destroy the Dragon Palace. The 100 cities unite caused quite a commotion. Many experts even believed that once the 100 City Alliance united, their terrifying power wouldn't be something that the Dragon Palace could resist. This point was acknowledged by many experts. Since the 100 City Alliance united, they could also imagine that the first thing they would do would be to destroy the Dragon Palace. The hatred between the two sides was irreconcilable. The 100 City Alliance had been forced to unite. Next, it would be a fight to the death. The 100-City Alliance would be completely united against the Dragon Palace. The following war would be even more intense. If they thought the 100-City Alliance would be defeated a few days ago, now they thought the tables would turn. The 100-City Alliance united. Within the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian received the news of the 100-City Alliance united immediately. His eyes flickered when he saw the news. Currently, the city lords of the various cities had led their subordinates to relocate. Those cities had become completely empty. All the forces were united and located at the old lair of the 100-City Alliance. As for the location of the old lair, Wang Xian also knew. Once they unite, it will be troublesome. However, it's just as well. I can compete with my true strength. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He pondered for a moment before he headed out. He wanted to go to the old lair of the 100-City Alliance. He wanted to meet the Alliance chief of the 100-City Alliance. He wanted to thoroughly understand the other party's background before carrying out his next plan. Chapter 3507. The old lair of the 100 Cities Alliance was also known as the 100 Cities Peak. The 108 mountain peaks had stood on the inner continent of the untainted land for a very long time. Similarly, the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance had been here for a long time too. In the past, this was a city. After the city was disbanded, it became the old lair of the 100 Cities Alliance. The current leader of the 100 Cities Alliance was the son of the city lord of this city. No one knew the name of the city lord of the 100 Cities Alliance. All they knew was that he had the head of the demonic dragon and was a terrifying sorcerer. The head of the demonic dragon? TSK. I wonder how strong the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance is. If he's weak, I'll kill him. Wang Xian was flying at a terrifying speed in the sky above the continent. He was filled with murderous intent towards the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. All the decisions and orders of the 100 Cities Alliance were issued by the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. Moreover, Wang Xian had decided that if the divine dragon lineage returned to its peak one day, the Dragon Palace would annihilate any sorcerer who dared to transfer the body of a divine dragon to himself. This was the dignity and authority of the divine dragon lineage. At their peak, even the ancestor sorcerer wouldn't dare to do such a thing, let alone a third-order universe lord. Swish swish swish. The unbeginning saint wings flapped and Wang Xian sped towards the 100 Cities Peak. The 100 Cities Peak was still very far from the water of the heavens. Even if he were to fly there, it would take him about a year. Along the way, he used the teleportation formation several times to shorten the distance by half. Time passed day by day. After the 100 Cities Alliance united and was named the 100 Cities Alliance, the remaining disciples and experts of the 80 cities were all moved to the 100 Cities Peak. At this time, the 100 Cities Peak was densely packed with people. The city guards and the legions of the various cities were reorganized, forming incomparably powerful legions. Over 80 cities, each of which belonged to an advanced race. When the elite disciples of their armies were united, it was exceptionally terrifying. When it came to elite disciples, not even the spirit demons were a match for this united force. After the 100 Cities Alliance united, everyone was clear that their target was the Dragon Palace. Even the disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance had said on the Universe AI that they wouldn't disperse their forces as long as the Dragon Palace was not destroyed. Only by destroying the Dragon Palace would they be able to restore the 100 Cities Alliance. The 100 Cities Alliance now had close to 80 cities. It would not be easy to gather all the disciples and experts and select an army commander. It would take at least a year or two, or even longer, to gather such a huge amount. Half a year later, in front of the 100 City Peak, a terrifying figure approached at a terrifying speed. The 100 City Peak is in front of us. All the forces of the remaining cities of the 100 City Alliance. Wang Xian, who had been flying for half a year, stared ahead with glistening eyes. The illusory figures of numerous mountains appeared in front of him. What was that? Every city has a powerful treasure, a carnate spiritual treasure. As Xiao Chen approached, he quickly sensed the situation of the 100 City Peak. His eyes flashed. The alliance leader of the 100 Cities Alliance knew array formations. Thus, This battle could not be carried out in the 100-city peak. It would be best if it was carried out here. Since that's the case, let's lure him over. Wang Xian mumbled to himself and immediately stopped moving. This place was still extremely far away from the 100-city peak. Wang Xian moved his palm and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. The energy of the 5 elements began to condense on it, forming a sharp arrow. The sharp arrow emitted a grayish color. With a wave of his arm, the illusory figure of a bow and arrow condensed in front of him. He drew the bow and released the arrow. Swish! The arrow formed by the horrifying energy of the 5 elements shot towards the mountains in front of him instantly. The grayish energy of the bow and arrow was extremely condensed and carried a terrifying force. However, when the bow and arrow arrived in front of the 100-city peak, the carnate spiritual treasures on the top of the 108 mountains suddenly released a wave of power. A wave of energy formed and attacked the bow and arrow that Wang Xian had shot out. Boom! As the energy collided, the bow and arrow gradually dissipated. Similarly, the attack from the array formation also disappeared instantly. The horrifying collision seemed to have caused the entire heaven and earth to tremble. However, the 108 mountains did not have the slightest fluctuation. What's that sound? The sudden horrifying collision caught the attention of countless people on the 100-city peak. Their faces were filled with shock. Currently, a large number of people had gathered on the 108 mountains. In fact, the entire 100-city peak seemed a little crowded. This collision naturally attracted the attention of countless people. Swish! On the tallest mountain of the 100-city peak, the 100-city Alliance leader flew into the sky and stared in the direction of Wang Xian. Alliance leader of the 100-city Alliance, get out here. At this moment, a cold voice was heard. Huh! The voice traveled to the sky above the 100-city peak and shocked all the experts and disciples. A group of Universe Lord level experts flew into the sky immediately and looked towards the source of the voice. Dragon Palace. The 100-city Alliance leader stared at the blurry figure in front of him with cold and murderous intent in his eyes. Hehe, 100-city Alliance, haven't you guys been arrogant and wanted to annihilate my Dragon Palace? 10 years have almost passed, but you guys are holed up here. How ironic. Wang Xian stared at the figure of the 100-city Alliance leader with disdain. Similarly, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. It won't be long before the doomsday of your Dragon Palace, the 100-city Alliance leader said coldly. You guys have been saying the same thing for 10 years. In the end, you guys have abandoned your cities and fled here. Today, let me see the strength of your King Quan. I'd like to see who gave you the courage to say that you want to annihilate the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian said coldly as he stared at the 100-city Alliance leader. TSK, courting death. The 100-city Alliance leader's face darkened gradually. Brat from Dragon Palace, get over here if you have the gut. An expert from the 100-city Alliance bellowed furiously. Wang Xian stood there quietly and wasn't moved. The other party was a sorcerer and there were traces of an array. How could he go over? If the 100-city Alliance leader didn't dare to come out, Wang Xian would be able to roughly assess his strength. If he didn't dare to come out in a one-on-one fight, he would be a piece of trash. Moreover, this would tarnish the reputation of the 100-city Alliance. You still want others to rush to your base? Why don't you think of others rushing to your grotto heaven? No one was that stupid. Today, I'll kill you. The 100-city Alliance leader also understood that Wang Xian wouldn't come over. He moved and flew towards Wang Xian instantly. A magic staff appeared in his hand with a blood-red eye embedded on it. Chapter 3508, 1000 Eyes, Blood Fiend. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance flew towards Wang Xian. As he waved the staff in his hand, the blood-red eyes on it glowed brightly. The blood-red eyes on his chest also glowed brightly. The blood-red lights converged and formed a huge blood-red eye in the sky. The blood-red eye stared at Wang Xian and emitted a mysterious energy. Huh! Wang Xian raised his eyebrows when he saw the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance charging over and sensed the mysterious energy of the blood-red eye in the sky. He felt as if the space around him had been sealed, as if there were countless eyes staring at him. This was a very strange feeling. Roar roar. At this time, the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance let out a wild roar. His entire body underwent a sudden transformation. His body expanded by tens of thousands of times, and his head was the head of a huge devil dragon. On his chest were blood-red eyes. On his back was a metallic tail that emitted a sinister aura. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance was just like a devil boss in this world. TSK. Wang Xian snorted with murderous intent in his eyes. He lifted his head and roared, roar roar. With a dragon roar, he transformed into a divine dragon. The divine dragon emitted 9-colored radiance in his eyes. In the eyes of all living beings in the outside world, he belonged to the Azure Dragon. He might be a mutated Azure Dragon. At this moment, Wang Xian still had no idea how powerful a concealment treasure the leaf gifted to him by the fairy race was. He also had no idea that it was a treasure gifted to him by an invincible expert in this universe. Facing the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance, Wang Xian displayed his full strength. The sorcerer lineage was an extremely mysterious and terrifying lineage. The powerful ancestor sorcerer was an existence that any pinnacle race would be wary of. 8 directional dragon pillars. Wang Xian let out a low roar and released the law of Dharma. Shadows of divine dragons blasted towards the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. In the next instant, the unbeginning sacred wings on his body flap. Everyone, vision. The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance raised the staff in his hand that had also expanded. Huge blood-red eyes faced the 8 divine dragons. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Terrifying collisions reverberated. Our Alliance Master is fighting with this expert from Dragon Palace. The other party is a purebred divine dragon. He should be a purebred divine dragon. Such a pure dragon power. This must be the expert from Dragon Palace who destroyed Daming City. The other party is very strong. Will our Alliance Master fight against him? Our Alliance leader has already broken through to the Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm for close to 10 billion years. He definitely isn't any weaker than an ordinary Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm expert. Furthermore, our Alliance leader is a sorcerer. The battle between Wang Xian and the leader of the 100 City Alliance erupted. Countless experts and disciples of the 100 City Peak immediately flew up to the sky to watch the battle. Their eyes were fixed on him as they discussed among themselves. One was a purebred divine dragon, the other was their Alliance leader, a powerful sorcerer. They naturally hoped that their Alliance Master would win, but the other party was also a divine dragon. They did not dare to jump to a conclusion about who would win or lose. The 8-direction dragon pillars collided with the red eyes, and the energy of both sides began to dissipate. At this moment, Wang Xian pushed his speed to the maximum and came to his right. When Wang Xian made his move, the gigantic blood-red eye in the sky looked in the direction where he was flying. The leader of the 100 City Alliance was shocked, and his golden tail moved immediately. Golden Dragon Leaf. He let out a deep roar and swept towards Wang Xian. Huh! He actually reacted. That's strange. Wang Xian was shocked to see that the other party could keep up with his speed. It couldn't be described as keeping up, but the other party had predicted where he would appear and counterattacked. Divine tail playing with pearls. However, Wang Xian did not dodge. Instead, he swept his dragon tail towards the leader of the 100 City Alliance. Rumble. The dragon power collided with the golden tail. At the point of collision, pitch-black cracks appeared in the space. The leader of the 100 City Alliance was taken aback, and his body flew backwards uncontrollably. Bei, Nanjiao, Mugu, Shu Fang, bloodline ashes. He waved the staff in his hand and roared. In the next instant, blood-red lines appeared in front of him and attacked Wang Xian. The blood-red lines were densely packed and covered the entire space. Wang Xian roared as his body was covered in thick mud. At the same time, the Tai Chi dragon plate appeared around him. Streams of light and darkness energy were injected into the dragon plate, forming a formidable defense. The unbeginning sacred wing mountain shook, and he disappeared again. What a fast speed! The leader of the 100 City Alliance was taken aback. The red eye in the sky looked in one direction, and he reacted immediately. It's the red eye above. It seems to be able to see through my movement. Wang Xian saw the thin lines converging towards him. He focused his attention and sensed the changes in the red eye above him. His eyes flickered. Almighty heavenly dragon, he waved his dragon claws, and a divine dragon attacked the red eye. Wang. In the next instant, he moved his palm, and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. He smashed it towards the leader of the 100-City Alliance. Horn Mansion, Kang Mansion, Di Mansion, Fang Mansion, Xin Mansion, Wei Mansion, Winnowing Mansion, Demonic Dragon Formation. The leader of the 100-City Alliance looked over, and his face hardened. He opened his dragon mouth and spat out waves of energy. The power of darkness quickly formed an array and a demonic dragon charged towards Wang Xian. TSK. Wang Xian saw the unbeginning sacred wing flapping, and instantly attacked the red eye in the sky. The devil dragon array covered the almighty heavenly dragon and the 5 elements grindstone, but it couldn't stop Wang Xian. Boom! The dragon claws swept across, and Wang Xian broke the red eye in the sky. Swoosh! In the next instant, the unbeginning sacred wing flapped, and Wang Xian disappeared as he attacked the leader of the 100-City Alliance. On the chest of the leader of the 100-City Alliance, the red eye scanned the surroundings uneasily, trying to capture Wang Xian's figure. He's too fast. How can he be so fast? This is a great counter to sorcerers. When the eyes on his body caught sight of Wang Xian, the leader of the 100-City Alliance was shocked, and he quickly dodged to the side. Towering Dragon Horn. On Wang Xian's dragon horn, a terrifying energy penetrated the leader of the 100-City Alliance. Red Eye World Separation. The leader of the 100-City Alliance roared, and his eyes shone with blood-red light. The light enveloped him, and the next instant, he felt as though he was transported to another world. The energy from the towering dragon horn penetrated him, but it didn't penetrate his body. It only penetrated a red mist. In the next instant, the body of the leader of the 100-City Alliance appeared in this universe once again. However, the red eye on his chest was dripping with drops of blood. Clearly, he had paid a price. Chapter 3509. Just SOSO. Roar roar. Wang Xian stared at the 100 Cities Alliance leader with a sinister look in his eyes. He flapped his huge wings. Soaring cloud mist. He let out a low roar. In the 100-City Alliance master's vision, leaves suddenly appeared all around him, greatly obstructing his vision. On his body, red eyes scanned the surroundings constantly, filled with unease. Red eyes would only appear in such a state when they were in danger and unease. His speed is too fast, simply too fast. The 100 Cities Alliance leader's expression was ugly. Without any hesitation, he retreated continuously. At the same time, he waved his arm and formed a demonic dragon around him. The shadow of the demonic dragon circled around him, protecting him. Boom! At this moment, Wang Xian's figure appeared on his right, his dragon claws striking towards the 100 Cities Alliance leader. Roar roar! The demonic dragon around him roared and defended against Wang Xian's attack. Peak spirit! The surrounding demonic dragon started to crumble. The 100 Cities Alliance leader's expression changed as he reached behind him with his left hand. Wong wong wong. At this moment, everyone on the 100 Cities peak felt the entire peak shake. What's going on? The expert from Dragon Palace seems really strong. Our 100 Cities Alliance leader is temporarily suppressed. Is our Alliance leader going to use his trump card? The eyes of the experts and disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance shone brightly. Do it. In the sky, in the middle of the group of universe rulers, an old man swept his gaze across the surroundings and roared. 100 Cities Alliance leader, we are here to help you. With a low roar, over 30 second order sovereigns flew towards Huang Xiaolong. No need. At this moment, the 100 Cities Alliance leader roared. His dark demonic dragon eyes stared ahead, his face cold and sinister. Wong wong wong. At this moment, the 100 Cities peak was still shaking. On the peak of the 108 peaks, the Xiantian spiritual treasures flew towards the staff in the 100 Cities Alliance leader's hand. On his staff, the blood-red eye widened. Wong wong wong. One by one, the Xiantian spiritual treasures entered the blood-red eye. Ha! Seeing this, Wang Xian's eyes narrowed. Roar. Skull cross spike. With a low growl, a mask appeared and he attacked the alliance leader of the 100 City Alliance. Carnate formation, defend. The 100 Cities Alliance leader roared and the 108 carnate spiritual treasures entered the blood eye on his magic staff. He raised his magic staff and a defensive array formation instantly formed around him. All kinds of energy revolved, forming a defensive barrier. Boom. Ka. As the skull cross spikes landed on it, the defense began to crumble bit by bit. The 100 Cities Alliance leader exclaimed in shock when he saw his defensive formation crumbling. His expression instantly turned ugly. The other party also had powerful treasures. Carnate Grand Formation, Devil Flag. His eyes narrowed, and the staff in his hand condensed a huge demonic flag. He waved the demonic flag, which directly covered the area in front of him. Crash. Wang Xian was shocked to see him setting up array formations one after another. Flapping his unbeginning sacred wings, he quickly dodged to the side. He easily dodged his array attack. Damn it! The 100 Cities Alliance leader's expression turned ugly as he channeled energy into the magic staff in his hand. That Dragon Palace expert is so powerful to be able to force our alliance leader to this extent. After all, they are both third-order universe sovereigns. How can there be such a huge difference between them? It will be extremely difficult for him to defeat our alliance leader. After all, our alliance leader didn't even ask for our help. Behind him, the group of second-order universe sovereigns watched the battle with flickering eyes. Is this all you've got? It won't be long before I kill you. The 100 Cities Alliance leader swept his gaze around and roared coldly. Hihi, with just you? You're the one who's going to die. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with mockery. Flapping his unbeginning sacred wings, he instantly appeared behind the 100 Cities Alliance leader. Sensing the threat behind him, the 100 Cities Alliance leader's expression changed. His golden tail swept out once again. Bam bam bam! Wang Xian extended his dragon claws and clawed at the golden tail. Large amounts of blood flowed from the golden tail. Scram! The 100 Cities Alliance leader roared as he raised the magic staff in his hand. 100 peaks, suppress, Wang. From the blood-red eye on his magic staff, mountain peaks flew out one after another. Each of the peaks contained terrifying might. The mountain peaks grew in size and rotated around him. Soon, there were 108 peaks. Too clumsy. Wang Xian swept his gaze across these peaks with a solemn look in his eyes. Flapping his unbeginning sacred wings, he appeared in front of one of the peaks and swept his dragon tail across. Boom! A terrifying collision sound reverberated. That peak trembled slightly and cracks appeared on it. However, it did not collapse immediately. Huh! Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and launched another attack. Wang! However, at this moment, meteorites exploded from the surrounding mountains and rained down on Wang Xian. Wang Xian moved his body and dodged the meteorites. Bam bam bam! Relying on his speed, he arrived in front of a few other peaks and landed a series of attacks on them. Boom! One of the peaks could not withstand the violent energy and collapsed immediately. Next time, I'll definitely kill you. Seeing that he couldn't do anything to Wang Xian, the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance let out a deep roar of indignation and retreated backwards. Under the protection of the mountains, there was nothing Wang Xian could do. The 100 Cities Alliance master is only SOSO. He did not continue his pursuit because Bai Cheng's base was right behind him. If not for this nest, Wang Xian was confident that he could grind it to death. However, there was no need for him to take the risk, not to mention the array formation set up in the nest. Furthermore, there were over 30 second-order sovereigns behind them who had yet to make a move. If they were to strike, they would bring Wang Xian a lot of trouble. Our alliance master. He's actually not his match. Behind them, the experts and disciples of the 100 City Alliance had ugly expressions on their faces when they saw this. The strongest expert of Dragon Palace had suppressed their 100 Cities Alliance master. Next time, I will definitely kill you. He stared at the 100 Cities Alliance master and said the same thing. As long as the 5 Elements Grindstone or the King of Water Tentacles achieved another breakthrough, Wang Xian was confident that he could eliminate them. It won't be long before we find out who will kill who. The 100 Cities Alliance Master's face was a little ugly as he roared with bloodshot eyes. Hee hee. Wang Xian chuckled, turned around and flew far away. He had tested the strength of the 100 Cities Alliance Master. The next time would be his death. Chapter 35:10, Dragon Palace. It won't be long before I destroy all of you. Completely. The alliance leader of the 100 City Alliance returned to the front of the 100 City Peak. Seeing Wang Xian's disappearing figure, he was a little displeased. This divine dragon expert from the Dragon Palace had completely exceeded his expectations. With his strength and foundation, he believed that it would be difficult to find a match for him in the same level. Even if he encountered a powerhouse of the same level from another peak race in the universe, as long as he didn't have a primordial cardinal treasure, he was confident that he could defeat him. However, the speed of the expert from Dragon Palace was too terrifying. This speed was close to the universe ruler realm. Alliance Master! Alliance Master! At this time, several second-order sovereigns flew over and shouted at him. The divine dragon of the Dragon Palace is very strong. However, we have already figured out its strength. Next time, we can easily kill it. The 100 Cities Alliance leader said confidently. Yes, Alliance Master. As long as the resources and treasures of the sacred dragon bloodline arrive, we will be able to destroy them easily. An old man immediately said with a smile. Continue to gather all the elites and disciples of the 100 cities. It won't be long before we destroy the Dragon Palace. The 100 City Alliance leader said faintly as he flew towards the tallest peak in the center. As he landed on the peak of the mountain, a confident smile appeared on his face. Although it was suppressed this time, the next time would be the death of that divine dragon. Buzz. He arrived at the location of a teleportation array and disappeared in an instant. When he reappeared, he was already at the sacred dragon bloodline. Let's find a place to increase the strength of the 5 elements grinder or the Tai Chi dragon coil. Wang Xian left the 100 City Peak and flew aimlessly in the sky above the inner continent. He was deep in thought. Even though the 100 City Alliance leader wasn't as strong as him, he still had some power. Especially when he was in his own nest. Right now, he had to think of a way to quickly upgrade the 5 elements grindstone or the Taiji dragon board. After upgrading the Tai Chi dragon plate, he would be able to kill the 100 Cities Alliance Master. Continue to the land of devil bones. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before flying in that direction. The Tai Chi dragon board could absorb the demon skeletons in the land of demon bones. Secondly, the blood pool could allow the progenitor tree to bear the blood refinement fruit. Moreover, he was preparing to let the members of the Dragon Palace consume the blood refinement fruit to see how much change it would bring. Wang Xian pondered as he shuttled back and forth rapidly. I heard that the experts of the Dragon Palace went to the 100 City Summit and fought with the 100 City Alliance Master. Both sides were evenly matched. I heard from the disciples of 100 Cities that the expert from Dragon Palace has the upper hand. Dragon Palace is really strong now. They confidently rushed to the 100 Cities Peak and fought with the 100 Cities Alliance leader. At this very moment, as he was flying towards the land of Devil Bones, the news of the battle between Wang Xian and the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance had spread. This caused everyone to be extremely shocked. The Dragon Palace was even more ferocious than they had imagined. They had directly killed their way into the 100 City Alliance's old court. While he was flying on the AI, 2 months later, Wang Xian arrived at the land of Devil Bones through the teleportation formation. After which, he continued flying and stepped into the land of Devil Bones. Not long after, he arrived at the blood pool again. This time, he landed in the center of the pool of blood and drilled downwards. Now that Wang Xian had achieved a breakthrough in his strength, the blood pool posed no threat to him. There might not be any existence in the entire land of Devil Bones that could pose a threat to him. Of course, there were rumors that there were Universe Lord Realm Devil skeletons here. However, no one knew if it was true or not as no one had verified it. After landing in the center of the blood pool, Wang Xian arrived at the deepest spot. This spot was in the information center of the spirit demon race and was considered a more dangerous area. Wang Xian had not allowed the progenitor tree to take root here in the past. This was because back then, he was not a match for a third-order universe lord. This time, he had purposely chosen this spot. If a third-order Universe Lord Realm Devil skeleton were to ambush him, he would be able to kill it. Now that he was facing a devil skeleton of the same level, Wang Xian was still very confident. He sat cross-legged underground with ease, and the progenitor tree took root in the ground. Hey! At this time, Wang Xian realized that the speed at which the progenitor tree absorbed the energy underground was much faster. It was 5 to 6 times faster than before. My improvement has also increased the speed of the blood refinement fruit by 5 to 6 times. Doesn't that mean that I can produce a blood refinement fruit in 3 to 4 months? Wang Xian was pleasantly surprised. Sitting there quietly, Wang Xian concealed his aura and remained motionless. A blood refinement fruit formed rapidly. The blood refinement fruit exuded an alluring aura. In the center of the blood pool, it was undoubtedly a bright light. In the eyes of ordinary experts, Wang Xian was simply courting death. Rustle, rustle, rustle. After an unknown period of time, a soft sound was heard. When Wang Xian heard this sound, his heart skipped a beat. SSSSSS. At this time, a blood-red, incomparably pure blood snake suddenly flew towards the blood refinement fruit. It stuck out its tongue. The tongue grew longer and longer as it attacked Wang Xian. The blood refinement fruit had not ripened yet. It wanted to kill Wang Xian and occupy this place. He, a first-order Universe Lord Realm wild beast. Wang Xian opened his eyes and revealed a cold gaze. Leave it to me, Dragon King. On his shoulder, the Water Tentacle King exclaimed excitedly before disappearing instantly. Soon, she flew back with satisfaction and a smile in her eyes. This should be a wild beast formed from the blood essence of the blood pool, right? Wang Xian asked the Water Tentacle King. Yes, Dragon King. My level is too low and useless to you. It can help me recover a little. The Water Tentacle King chuckled. A wild beast formed from the blood essence was undoubtedly a great tonic. It could devour and convert it into pure energy. Wang Xian did not say anything and continued to close his eyes. The recovery of the Water Tentacle King would undoubtedly be of great help to him. Over here, there's a powerful special energy coming from this direction. As the blood refinement fruit grew, Wang Xian's presence in this place attracted some living beings once again. This time, it was clearly an expert from the intelligent living beings. A voice was heard. Wang Xian opened his eyes and scanned the surroundings. Waves of energy came over. Wang Xian scanned the area with his consciousness and sensed the aura of a second-order Universe Lord. Wang. At this time, 5 figures appeared in Wang Xian's sight. Wang Xian looked over. 3 skeletons and 2 dark attribute experts. This fruit has been claimed by me. Leave immediately. Wang Xian warned them plainly. At this time, the 5 figures also saw Wang Xian. They scanned the area and fixed their eyes on the blood refinement fruit beside Wang Xian. Chapter 35:11. The arrival of the 5 experts was Wang Xian's warning. The main reason why he chose to nurture the blood refinement fruit here was to attract the wild beasts and skeletons in the blood pool. Wang Xian did not launch an attack against these experts immediately. Of course, this was also the reason why they did not attack Wang Xian immediately. The warning voice rang out in their ears. The 5 of them exchanged glances and stared at the blood refinement fruit with a fiery look in their eyes. Although they did not know the specific effects of this blood refinement fruit, the energy coming from it made their blood restless and they wanted to devour it into their bodies. They did not leave. A wave of energy shrouded towards Wang Xian. They did not attack, but were sensing. Leave in 3 seconds. Otherwise, I'll treat you as my enemy. Wang Xian sensed a wave of energy sweeping across his body and issued a second warning. The 5 of them sensed Wang Xian but could not detect his specific strength. Pretentious. We're taking this treasure. The 5 experts' eyes flickered as they snorted and attacked Wang Xian. To them, Wang Xian was using his aura to suppress them. Was he trying to make them retreat? Was that possible? If the other party was an expert, he would have attacked them and asked them to scram. This made them conclude that the guy beside the blood refinement fruit was definitely not that strong. As for why they could sense his specific strength, It was because there were many treasures that could hide one's strength. Courting death. Wang Xian revealed a smile when he saw their attacks. He gave them a chance, but they did not cherish it. Did they think he was a pushover? Swish. In the next moment, Wang Xian's figure disappeared and appeared in front of the second-order universe sovereign skeleton. He grabbed it and a wave of energy locked it down. "You're courting death," he said emotionlessly. "No, no, sir, don't kill me. Give me a chance." At this moment, the second-order universe sovereign skeleton was completely dumbfounded. Such terrifying speed, such terrifying strength. Was this a lord at the universe ruler realm? How could he be so terrifying? How did they offend such an existence? What? The other 4 experts were completely dumbfounded. They looked at this scene in horror and their hearts pounded violently. Run. Without any hesitation, they fled into the distance. Boom. But at this moment, a terrifying aura filled the surroundings. Space seemed to have frozen. Their bodies were completely frozen, and their faces were covered in cold sweat. "I've given you a chance," Wang Xian said faintly as he stared at the second-order universe sovereign skeleton in front of him. Soul assimilation. The nether flames in his eyes grew dimmer and dimmer. "Summon the divine kingdom," Wang Xian ordered plainly. Buzz. Slowly, an incomparably huge darkness divine kingdom slowly appeared at the side. Whoosh. Before it appeared completely, Wang Xian pulled it into the dragon palace. With a wave of his arm, he killed him. "No, no, no, don't kill us." At the side, the other 4 experts were completely restrained. Their faces were filled with fear as they looked at this scene and roared in despair. "Soul assimilation. Summon my own divine kingdom," Wang Xian shouted. The other 4 experts immediately fell silent. Before their god nations could appear, they were pulled into the dragon palace. "Hehe, this method is pretty good," Wang Xian smiled. In such a short period of time, he had gained so much. It was even faster than searching for treasures. Continue. Wang Xian continued to sit there cross-legged as days passed. The following month was peaceful and no living creatures came. Another month passed and the blood refinement fruit was completely ripe. Wang Xian looked at the ripe blood refinement fruit but did not pluck it immediately. Instead, he continued to sit there with his legs crossed. The second blood refinement fruit began to grow. As time passed, waves of mysterious and alluring energy spread to the surroundings. Another 3 months passed. Suddenly, Wang Xian felt a surge of energy attacking him. He immediately opened his eyes and attacked in a direction. It was a blood-red worm, and it had completely blended in with the surrounding blood-red blood. Only when it was in front of Wang Xian did he sense it. Fart. Wang Xian waved his arm and caught it with his dragon claws. "Great Dragon King." The Water Tentacle King's voice was heard as she looked at the second-order universe sovereign worm eagerly. Wang Xian waved his arm and threw it in front of her. "Thank you, Dragon King. Thank you, Dragon King." She quickly sensed it and swallowed it into her stomach. This worm was condensed from blood essence and was very useful for her recovery. As the days passed, the second blood refinement fruit finally matured. The third blood refinement fruit was formed again. The energy emitted by the 2 blood refinement fruits grew stronger. Even from afar, one could feel the alluring aura. Swish, swish, swish. Half a month later, figures appeared in Wang Xian's sight. There were more than a dozen figures and all of them were first-order universe sovereigns. "Leave immediately. I've already claimed this fruit," Wang Xian said plainly. "This fruit." The dozen figures who flew over saw Wang Xian. Their eyes fell on the fruit and their breathing quickened. They could feel the restlessness coming from within their bodies. The dozen of them exchanged glances before turning their attention to Wang Xian. "Disappear from my sight in 3 seconds. Wang Xian issued a second warning. That fruit should be ripe. The other party did not pluck the 2 ripe fruits. He must be trying to attract the devil skeleton and wild beasts. Let's go. The dozen of them didn't dare to linger and left immediately. They weren't stupid. This was a dangerous place in the land of blood. The other party dared to sit here and not pluck the 2 ripe fruits. He must be trying to attract the wild beasts and devil skeleton. The dozen of them left and Wang Xian closed his eyes. What fruit is that? It can make my bloodline throb intensely. The dozen of them retreated from Wang Xian's range and stopped immediately. They exclaimed in shock. I have the same feeling. That fruit is definitely a powerful treasure. Their eyes were burning with greed. However, that fellow's strength is definitely not weak. It's very likely that he has the combat strength of a second-order universe sovereign. We should report this matter to the elders and let them make a decision. The dozen of them hesitated for a moment before speaking. Soon, their figures turned illusory and gradually disappeared. They belonged to a very powerful race in the land of Devil Bones. Diabolo race. Chapter 35:12. The group of experts left. Wang Xian didn't mind as he continued to sit there and wait quietly. Days passed again. Another 3 reckless devil skeletons came and were easily killed by Wang Xian. However, these devil skeletons were too weak. The gains weren't great. The third blood refinement fruit was growing rapidly. The energy emitted by the 3 fruits filled the surroundings. If not for Wang Xian's confidence, he wouldn't have dared to be so brazen. The temptation of the blood refinement fruit was terrifying. Half a month later, Wang Xian sat there with his legs crossed. Suddenly, his expression changed. He quickly opened his eyes and scanned the surroundings. The space around him had changed. He was now in a sea of blood. The blood refinement fruit was still beside him. The sudden change caused a solemn expression to appear on his face. What's going on? His dragon eyes scanned the surroundings and he didn't look good. He didn't notice the situation around him and was suddenly pulled into this space. This strange space was somewhat similar to Xiao Lan's Kuan domain. Dragon King, be careful. This is a special domain of a wild beast. Those with such a domain are not weak. It should be a third-order universe sovereign. The Water Tentacle King warned as she scanned the surroundings with her 3 bright eyes. Dragon King, kill him, kill him. At the same time, the Water Tentacle King's eyes were filled with excitement. This wild beast should be condensed from blood essence. Once it was killed and devoured, her strength might recover to the third-order universe sovereign level. Can you improve by devouring him? Wang Xian squinted his eyes and asked. 70% chance. The Water Tentacle King scanned the surroundings and answered. All right. Wang Xian willed and Lingling's figure gradually appeared on his shoulder. After devouring the life liquid and Wang Xian's breakthrough, Lingling had fallen into a deep slumber. Over the past 2 years, she had recovered. After absorbing the life liquid, Lingling was even more powerful in terms of support. Especially in terms of healing. At the same time, a shadow moved on Wang Xian's body. It was Dark Ghost. He hadn't even used Dark Ghost in his last battle against the 100 Cities Alliance Lord. At the time, Lingling had yet to awaken, and sending out Dark Ghost was not enough to kill the 100 Cities Alliance Lord. Crash. At this moment, the sea of blood formed into a hideous 2-headed monster in front of him and attacked Wang Xian. Crash. Wang Xian's figure flickered as his dragon claws struck towards the monster. Bam! The powerful force of the dragon claw bombarded one side, and the monster directly collapsed. A part of the blood disappeared, and a part fell into the sea of blood. Hualala. The moment the 2-headed monster disappeared, the sea of blood below instantly condensed into a tornado and swept towards Wang Xian. Dragon King, the entire blood sea is a part of that monster. Attack it directly. The Water Tentacle King saw through it and said. All right. Wang Xian's figure flickered as he flapped his unbeginning saint wings. The power of light gathered on them as the wings attacked the sea of blood. Boom! Droplets of blood instantly burst out from the blood sea and attacked the radiant wings. Boom, boom, boom! The sound of collision was heard and Wang Xian's eyes were cold. Courting death. Lingling, support. Wang Xian shouted coldly as he waved his dragon claws, condensed a seed, and threw it downwards. At the same time, a gush of energy surged into the seed. The seed instantly turned into a huge water lotus that took root in the sea of blood and absorbed the energy of the sea of blood crazily. Lingling waved the water lotus staff in her hand, and majestic wood attribute energy surged into the water lotus. The speed of absorption of the water lotus became even more terrifying. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, the entire sea of blood roared as huge waves surged towards the water lotus. Bam! A dull, loud sound was heard as an explosion occurred in the middle of the sea of blood. A portion of the blood disappeared. From Wang Xian's body, a shadow dashed towards the sea of blood and immediately transformed into the body of the devil dragon. The dark ghost doppelganger roared and swept its dragon tail across. Boom! The entire sea of blood surged as Wang Xian extended his dragon claws, which turned into the radiant dragon claws and clawed downwards. Similarly, a huge blood claw emerged from the sea of blood and met the radiant dragon claws head-on. Bam! After the collision, the blood claw and the radiant dragon claws disappeared. Swoosh! Wang Xian flapped the unbeginning saint wings and arrived at the other side of the sea of blood in the next instant. Lingling waved the water lotus staff and sent down bolts of lightning. Roar, roar. The entire sea of blood roared. At this moment, Wang Xian felt the surroundings changing. They appeared in the sea of blood again, and nothing had changed. A dazzling drop of blood was pulsating as it escaped into the distance. Dragon King, catch him, catch him. The water tentacle king roared with excitement in its eyes. You can't escape. Wang Xian's eyes lit up. The blood essence of a third-order universe sovereign was definitely a great supplement. Any member of the Dragon Palace would be able to improve immediately if they devoured it. Of course, giving it to the water tentacle king was the best choice. Seeking the enemy from the void had already attached itself to the blood essence wild beast. Wang Xian kept the blood refinement fruit and instantly appeared before it, clawing at it with its dragon claws. With Wang Xian's speed, those of the same level could forget about escaping. Roar, roar. The blood essence wild beast sensed Wang Xian's speed and let out a furious roar. In the next second, it transformed into Wang Xian's appearance, and its arms turned into dragon claws as it attacked. Courting death. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with disdain as he faced it head-on. Dark Ghost appeared at the other side and attacked as well. 2 against 1. Roar, roar. Seeing Dark Ghost's sudden appearance, the blood essence wild beast opened its mouth and roared ferociously. Its entire face started to change. Ha ha, die. Wang Xian laughed heartily. Lingling waved her water lotus magic staff and released branches of trees. Under Wang Xian's attack with all his trump cards, the blood essence wild beast was completely suppressed. Bam! The dragon claws collided with his simulated dragon claws, and Dark Ghost's attack landed on his body. Lingling's branches wrapped around him completely. He transformed into a drop of blood essence once again. Wang Xian reached out with his dragon claws and grabbed it in his hands. Waves of energy obliterated its soul power. Indignant roars resounded continuously, but the sound was getting weaker and weaker. I've hit the jackpot. Wang Xian sensed the life force disappearing completely, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Chapter 35:13. The droplet of blood essence disappeared rapidly. The water tentacle king stared excitedly at the droplet of blood essence that exuded boundless energy. The energy contained in the blood essence could help it recover a little. It had already devoured all the water attribute resources in Daming City and the essence of the blood essence. This third-order universe sovereign realm blood essence desolate beast was more or less enough. Here. Wang Xian placed the blood essence in front of the water tentacle king. She opened her mouth and swallowed it immediately. Her eyes were filled with excitement. Dragon King, I'll protect you when I'm fully recovered. When that time comes, we'll kill anything that comes our way. The water tentacle king roared excitedly, then its body moved and disappeared in an instant. She wanted to return to the divine kingdom and completely digest the blood essence desolate beast's corpse. Wang Xian smiled. This time, he had wanted to upgrade the 5 elements grindstone or the Tai Chi dragon plate. He did not expect to upgrade the water tentacle king first. However, upgrading the water tentacle king also brought great benefits. In fact, the benefits were even greater than upgrading the 5 elements grindstone. My luck is pretty good this time. Seems like the blood refinement fruit can indeed attract wild beasts and demonic skeletons. Wang Xian murmured. He moved and sat cross-legged on the ground again. 3 blood refinement fruits appeared at the side. The third one was not fully ripe yet. A wave of enticing energy belonging to the blood refinement fruit spread to the surroundings. Just as Wang Xian sat cross-legged and prepared to use the blood refinement fruit to attract the wild beasts and demonic skeletons, a dozen figures flew over from the sky above the blood pool. The one in the middle was completely shrouded in darkness. He wore a bamboo hat on his head and his face could not be seen clearly. The other dozen were of human build, but some of them had changed. 3 of them had the limbs of skeletons, which looked very strange. They were members of the Diawolo Precantator clan. The overall strength of the Diawolo Precantator clan was definitely not weaker than the Spirit Demon clan. In fact, they were even stronger. The only difference was that the Diawolo Precantator clan did not have the background of the Spirit Demon clan. Even so, the Diawolo Precantator clan was a huge force here. Their top combat strength was slightly stronger than the 100 Cities Alliance. "Is it right under the blood pool?" the figure in the bamboo hat asked. "Yes, Lord Wu Gui. Just below." A First Order Sovereign Realm Magus immediately answered. "Go down," said Wu Gui indifferently. His figure flashed as he flew downwards. The group of Diawolo Precantator clan members followed behind. Of the 13 subordinates, only 3 were First Order Universe Sovereign Realm Magi. These 3 were the ones who had led the way the last time. The other 10 were all Second Order Universe Sovereigns. As sorcerers, their combat strength was terrifying and strange. "Lord Wu Gui is just ahead." The 3 Diawolo Witchcraft Magi pointed in front of them and said, "The other party might be a Third Order Sovereign Realm expert. Be careful. I can already feel a tempting energy fluctuation. This energy is extremely beneficial to my bloodline. Red of flame of blood of God. Dragon blood refinement God Wu." He looked down and clenched his fists. "Of king. Of formation of the dragon. King, Wu. Wu of blood king. Wu muttered. Wu Gui muttered with a solemn expression on his face. "Lord Wu Gui, should we call the Patriarch and the rest over?" One of the Diawolo Precantator Demon King asked. "I'll call Lord Li over. Set up a formation here and completely seal off the other party in this area." Wu Gui nodded. "Lord Li, with our strength, we can easily kill a Third Order Universe Sovereign if we set up the array in advance." The Diawolo Precantator clan specialized in arrays, and some specialized in bloodline and physique. Wu Gui belonged to the category of experts. There was a huge advantage of specialized in arrays. Once the array was set up in advance, one could easily deal with 2 or 3 existences of the same level. As for the Li he mentioned, he mainly cultivated his bloodline and physical body. Wu Gui was confident that he could kill Lord Li easily with the help of 10 Second Order Universe Sovereigns. "Yes, Lord." The Diawolo Precantator Demon King replied. The 10 Second Order Universe Sovereigns started to set up the array. At this time, Wu Gui set up a transmission array in front of him and took out the universe artificial intelligence. In less than a few minutes, a figure appeared in the transmission array. It was an expert from the Diawolo Precantator clan with a golden skull and 4 blood-red limbs. He was Li of the Diawolo Precantator clan. There was only one word, Li. Lord Li of the Diawolo Precantator clan. Other than the Patriarch, all the peak experts of the Diawolo Precantator clan were here. "I smell a treasure. A treasure that can help improve one's bloodline. It's definitely a treasure." The moment he appeared, his body started to tremble. His blazing gaze looked down, and his body started to move restlessly. Especially his 4 limbs, it was as though blood was condensing and flowing continuously. "Keek, it's definitely a rare treasure. However, the other party might be a Third Order Universe Sovereign. I need to make some preparations." Wu Gui laughed, his voice somewhat sinister. "Sure." Li nodded. "Let's check the situation first and prevent him from leaving." "Hey! Don't alert him," Wu Gui reminded indifferently. "Keek." The ghostly fire in Li's eyes danced, filled with confidence. He moved his palm, and a drop of blood on his palm turned into the shape of a wild beast, diving straight down. Wu Gui swept a glance and was also very confident about Li's means. He moved and began to set up an array around him. Once the array enveloped the area, he was 100% confident that he could get his hands on the treasures below. As for that expert, if he dared to resist, kill him directly. Wang Xian sat cross-legged below, quietly waiting for the wild beast and devil skeleton to take the bait. He didn't know that there were experts above him who had their eyes on him. He also didn't expect that the dozen figures he let go would attract so many experts. Wang, Daddy, something is coming. It's monitoring us. However, at this time, Lingling's voice suddenly rang in his mind, stunning him. Huh? Lingling, you sensed it? Yes, Daddy. It's a drop of blood. Lingling replied again with confirmation. Ever since Lingling devoured the life liquid, she had gained some auxiliary abilities. In some special senses, she was even stronger than Wang Xian. Chapter 35:14, Lingling was a companion spirit that was closest to nature. Companion spirits were weak in combat, but their support capabilities were terrifying. Now that they were in the soil, Lingling's senses were stronger than Wang Xian's. Huh! Upon hearing Lingling, Wang Xian sensed the surroundings with all his might. Sure enough, he sensed a drop of blood approaching him. It was emitting a wave of energy. Clearly, it was searching for him. Another blood essence desolate beast. Wang Xian's eyes lit up as he looked at the drop of blood essence. If it was another third-order sovereign realm blood essence desolate beast, the Dragon Palace would have another third-order sovereign realm expert in its ranks. At that time, the Dragon Palace could send an army to attack the 100 Cities Alliance. As for the array formation, Wang Xian was confident that he could break it with his strength, annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance. Whoosh! With a thought, a bolt of lightning struck towards the drop of blood. The drop of blood did not expect to be discovered by Wang Xian and retreated in a panic. However, Wang Xian's seeking enemies through the void had already landed on the drop of blood. Wang Xian stood up immediately. With a wave of his arm, he kept the blood refinement fruit. With a swift move, he chased after the drop of blood essence. At the same time, the dark ghost doppelganger hid behind him, ready to attack at any time. Oh no, I've been discovered. At the same time, the golden will-o'-the-wisp above Li's head flickered with a furious expression. The blood essence he released to investigate was discovered. He was extremely confident in his own investigation, not to mention the favorable terrain in the land of blood. When he released the blood essence to investigate, he was 100% sure that the other party couldn't discover him. However, this 100% certainty had failed. The other party had discovered him. What? Damn it. Wu Gui frowned and couldn't help but curse. I can no longer sense that tempting energy. It must have been kept. He sensed and his expression changed. The other party is here. It's fine. Kill him and the treasure will still be ours. The will-o'-the-wisp in Li's eyes flickered as he clenched his fist and bellowed. His arm immediately turned into a terrifying demonic claw and directly attacked the position below. Attack! Wu Gui also sensed the energy coming from below and immediately ordered loudly. The fact that the other party could detect Li's detection meant that the other party's combat power was at the third-order universe sovereign realm. It's not a desolate beast with blood essence, but other experts. There are so many experts. As Wang Xian flew up from below, he sensed the energy and figures above him. When he saw the other party attacking him, his eyes narrowed. With a wave of his arm, a defensive barrier instantly appeared above him. His dragon eyes flickered, and all the experts in front of him appeared in his line of sight. 2 rank 3 universe sovereigns, 10 rank 2 universe sovereigns, and 3 rank 1. The strength of the other party immediately appeared in his mind. Wang Xian was shocked. Those 3 rank 1 experts are 3 of the dozen or so experts who came last time. Who would have thought? A murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He flapped his unbeginning saint wings and flew to the side instantly. Boom! In the next moment, the attack of the sorcerer of the Diawolo Precantator tribe landed on Wang Xian's defense and broke through it. Disappeared. Be careful. Seeing that Wang Xian was nowhere to be found after the defense, he quickly raised his voice to warn the others. Swish swish. At this time, Wang Xian had already arrived beside the two rank 2 universe sovereigns. His arms turned into dragon claws and pierced through their bodies, killing them instantly. What? Oh no, they are very fast. Be careful, gather together and guard against ambushes. Wu Gui's expression changed when he saw the two elders of his tribe killed in an instant. He immediately raised his voice to warn the others. Swish. Boom. At this time, Wang Xian's body shook, and a terrifying aura shrouded all the experts of the Diawolo Precantator tribe. His figure instantly attacked again. Attack! The experts of the Diawolo Precantator tribe were shocked and immediately shouted. Streaks of energy shrouded Wang Xian. Kill one first. Lingling, go all out and lock on that rank 3 universe sovereign array sorcerer. Wang Xian's eyes narrowed when he saw this scene. Since they dared to plot against him, he would make them pay a terrible price. Now that Lingling had awakened, he was ready to unleash his strongest attack. Swish. The unbeginning Saint Wings flapped, and he dodged the attacks of the experts of the Diawolo Precantator tribe. Swish. With another wave, Lingling raised the water lotus staff in her hand, and waves of energy surged into Wang Xian's body. Swish. In the next moment, his figure disappeared. Li, stop him. He is very fast. You hold him back, and I will kill him with the array. Wu Gui hastily scanned his surroundings and roared loudly. All right. Roar. Roar. Li let out a wild roar, and his arms and legs transformed. Both his arms and legs transformed into the appearance of a terrifying wild beast. His golden head glowed as he scanned the surroundings. Wu Gui, watch out. At this time, he sensed Wang Xian's figure and immediately shouted. Scram. Wu Gui was already prepared. His bamboo hat emitted darkness and formed a defense. Boom. Just then, Dark Ghost flew out of Wang Xian's body and headed straight for the defense. The terrifying attack caused the defense to crumble instantly. Wang Xian did not slow down, and his dragon claws clawed at Wu Gui. What? Wu Gui's expression changed slightly. With a wave of his palm, a skeleton appeared beside him. Ka. However, the moment the skeleton appeared, Wang Xian's dragon claws pierced through his body. But a strange scene appeared. A hole appeared on the chest of the skeleton, and the whole skeleton collapsed instantly, disappearing without a trace. Soon after, Wang Xian sensed that the body that his dragon claws pierced through had disappeared, and he appeared at the spot where the skeleton had disappeared. A perfect substitute had avoided a fatal blow. Wu Gui's eyes flickered with bloodlust. Clearly, he felt lucky to have escaped with his life. While Wang Xian had yet to retract his strength, he quickly fled to the side. Bind. However, at this time, a childish voice reached his ears. Thorns appeared around him. The thorns bound him directly. Feeling the binding force, Wu Gui's expression changed drastically, and his eyes were filled with fear. Die. You're courting death. He moved his palm again and pierced through Wu Gui's body. This time, he did not use a substitute for the skeleton. Chapter 35:15, Wang Xian's dragon claw pierced through Wu Gui's chest once again. The dark mist on his bamboo hat disappeared, revealing an incomparably pale and old face. At this moment, his eyes were filled with despair. Stop. If you dare to kill Wu Gui, the Diawolo Precantator tribe will tear you into pieces and make you unable to reincarnate. Sorcerer Li saw Wang Xian's claw piercing through Wu Gui's body. His expression changed drastically as he roared furiously. He had never expected his opponent to be so terrifying, to be able to defeat Wu Gui so easily. If he had not alerted the enemy, this might not have been the outcome. However, this was not the time for him to regret. He had to save Wu Gui. He was one of the only 3/3 Order Universe Sovereigns in the Diawolo Precantator tribe. He was his best friend, a close comrade who had fought alongside him for billions of years. Let him go, and I'll compensate you with treasures. Sorcerer Li bellowed again. He, you'd better be prepared to die if you want to kill me. Diawolo Precantator tribe, you're courting death. Wang Xian revealed a cold and disdainful expression when he heard him. Begging for mercy after being defeated. Sparing his life. How could there be such a good deal? Wang Xian's dragon claw moved, and the destructive force rushed towards Wu Gui. Sorcerers who were more inclined towards arrays were relatively weaker in terms of physical strength. However, Wu Gui was strong enough, and he even had a skeleton that could die in his place. He also had a lot of trump cards. However, it was a pity that he had met Wang Xian. Wang Xian could take on 3 opponents at the same level. Relying on Dark Ghost Doppelganger and Lingling, he could easily take on 5 opponents at once. Under such circumstances, Wu Gui was easily killed when he got close to him. If it wasn't for Lingling, Wu Gui would have escaped by now. You're courting death. Sorcerer Li sensed Wu Gui's life force disappearing. His eyes turned bloodshot, and 4 horrifying monsters charged towards Wang Xian. Courting death. It was settled. A sorcerer. Wang Xian could now easily suppress this sorcerer. He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and instantly appeared at Wu Gui's side. His dragon claw clawed towards Wu Gui. Damn it, he's too fast. I'm no match for him. When Sorcerer Li sensed Wang Xian's speed, his pupils constricted. He gritted his teeth and the golden skull glowed. He did not dodge. Instead, he charged towards Wang Xian. Boom. His head collided violently with the dragon claw and Wang Xian was shocked. His golden skull caused Wang Xian's palm to bleed. This sorcerer from the Diawolo Precantator clan isn't simple either, but is still far from it. Wang Xian's eyes were cold. He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and launched another attack. Die. At this time, the shaman Li roared and directly threw out a skeleton. This skeleton was stained with blood-red energy, revealing a terrifying aura. When Wang Xian saw this, he quickly dodged to the side. Buzz. However, in the next moment, to his surprise, the figure of the Diawolo Precantator clan's rank 3 venerable slowly turned illusory. Wang Xian was speechless as he looked at the disappearing silhouette. He escaped. This guy actually escaped. Wang Xian thought he was going to fight to the death with him. He shook his head and glanced around. The other experts of the Diawolo Precantator clan had already fled when they saw them fighting. TSK, another Third Order Universe Sovereign Corpse. I can make the sky formation break through. Wang Xian's eyes shone with excitement. After the sky formation broke through and the Aqua Tentacle King was about to recover to the Third Order Universe Sovereign strength, the Dragon Palace would have 3 Third Order Universe Sovereigns. When the time comes, I can directly kill my way into the 100 City Peak. Even if he has set up an array there, I can completely annihilate them. Wang Xian's eyes flickered with killing intent. However, the Diawolo Precantator clan, he murmured to himself with a thoughtful look on his face. Wang Xian knew a little about the strength of the Diawolo Precantator clan. There were 3 Third Order Universe Sovereigns in the clan, which was more than the Spirit Demon clan. The Spirit Demon clan only had 2. Now that he had killed one of the Diawolo Precantator clan, there were still 2 left. Should I attack the Diawolo Precantator clan? He pondered and felt that it was worth a try. However, to give it a try, he would have to wait for the Aqua Tentacle King and the Sky Formation to achieve a breakthrough. He would think about it in the future. He moved and once again flew down to where he was. This time, he did not go to the previous location. Instead, he found a secluded place. Now that the Aqua Tentacle King and the Sky Formation had not achieved a complete breakthrough, he had to avoid the Diawolo Precantator clan to prevent them from making a comeback. When he came to a relatively secluded location, the progenitor tree plunged into the ground again and the third blood refinement fruit continued to grow. Just as Wang Xian was waiting for the third fruit to ripen, in the land of Devil Bones, there were many eerie and mysterious territories. The entire domain was enveloped by a black formation. In the sky above, skulls were flying around, their eyes emitting a blood-red glow. The entire area was like hell, eerie and terrifying. Within the array in this area, castles could be vaguely seen. These castles looked ancient and there were strange symbols drawn on them. Wu Gui has been killed. In the center of the spacious area was a castle. Inside the castle, a skeleton holding a magic staff looked at a spirit tablet in his hand and roared in a low voice. His voice was filled with horrifying anger. Chief, that guy's speed is too terrifying. He even has a strange doppelganger. We are no match for him. Sorcerer Lee stood in front of the skeleton with the magic staff and reported with his head lowered. Damn it, Wu Gui has been fighting alongside us for billions of years. How could he be killed? We must avenge him. The chief of the Diawolo Precantator clan roared with a stern face. Chief, we have to be fully prepared if we want to avenge him. He is very strong. Sorcerer Lee said in a deep voice. Not only was he strong, but he was also very terrifying. It was not an exaggeration to describe him as terrifying. They could not understand why there was such a terrifying third-order universe sovereign in the land of Devil Bones. Do you have any items on him? The chief of the Diawolo Precantator clan stared at him and asked. Items? Sorcerer Lee's golden skull shone brightly. He stretched out his arm and said, Chief, I have an energy that he placed on me. Lightning. As he spoke, a bolt of lightning danced on his palm and merged with a drop of his blood. This was the power of searching through the void. He realized that it would take some time to destroy this bolt of lightning. All right, that's enough. Let's kill him with the curse. The chief of the Diawolo Precantator clan said coldly.